boys. I didn't see you there. Would you guys like to set sail on this ocean of flavor with me? I'll be your captain. I'm Steve Harrington.
And I'm Collin.
And I'm Doug.
And I'm Whitney, and this is Scoops Ahoy, a Stranger Things podcast where we go week by week, chapter by chapter, taking a look at every single episode of Stranger Things. We are finally emerging from the deep, dark void for season 5. Collin pointed out earlier that we only have, four episodes left till we get back to our weekly roundups. And this week we are deciding to get to theorizing about what we think is going to happen in season 5. It is Collin's least favorite thing to do. And that's why I like to make him do it.
All right. We don't have much to go on yet, but we're less than 5 months from season 5, with volume 1 dropping Wednesday, November 26th. So why not start guessing and or hoping about what we'll see when our favorite show returns?
Or we could talk about other stuff. I don't know.
Like what, Collin? What would you like to talk about?
No. Let's go. Oh, I do want to mention. You had sent me the link to the Video Heaven movie. The Video Heaven movie that Maya narrates. So there's a documentary about the glory of video stores, particularly in the 80s, and Maya actually narrates it. So we'll put a link up to the trailer of that. It's just on the festival circuit now, so it'll be a while before it, probably makes to video on demand or whatever. But it looks like a cute little fun movie, kind of reminiscing about the power of video stores.
It reminds me of that one that just came out like a couple years ago. I think it was longer than that. The Last Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Did you watch? Yeah.
That was so good.
I know. I miss video stores.
I used to work in one, so it's just kind of.
I know.
I had the blue shirt and the.
Do you have a lanyard?
I did. I had my little blockbuster name tag, my blue shirt with the yellow trim on the collars and the yellow collar. Yeah.
Wow.
It was fun stuff. So, yeah. Do you guys want to do any kind of general, just kind of chit chat about theories in general, or do you want to just kind of launch into? We all have kind of our 4 or 5 theories of our own that we kind of mishmash together. So,
let's just start a little chat about them.
Okay.
The one thing that I have been thinking about that I couldn't really weave into a theory is just trying to. I was talking to the daughters about this at length, and we couldn't figure it out. Right, like what has happened for a year and a half.
Right. Yeah, because if they're fall of 87 is when they're
Whitney loves this topic.
Because it bugs me too.
Like, what are we
gonna do?
Yeah.
How are we? What are we really just walking around pretending that like everything's normal?
Well, I mean, they do have the clip in the teaser of Lucas sitting at Max's bedside, and presumably that's not a year and a half. I'm going to guess that she hasn't been in a coma for a year and a half. I guess it's possible. But if she went into the coma in March of 86 at the end of season 4, and now we're coming up in the fall of 87, right?
That seems like a long time.
You don't think she'll be in a coma that long?
I don't know. I guess it's possible.
That's wild. A year and a half coma.
I mean, yeah, people have been in comas longer, but I don't know. I mean, it could have been a flashback scene, maybe she was in a coma for a month or a couple months or something like that. But
see, I just kind of,
especially back in the 80s, I don't know if you would be in a coma for.
Yeah, you could.
Oh, I know you could, but I just didn't know. It just seems like a long time to me. So I don't know if season 1, episode 1 is gonna start a year and a half later, or if eventually it'll become
a year and a half.
They'll do some time jumps during the season, maybe, or something. I don't know. Like volume 1 is 6 months later, volume 2 is the fall of 1987 smart. Or something. I don't know, something like that.
But I could see them like spending a chunk of time in, like, I can see 11 spending a chunk of time in like Max's brain. Like, she goes
to
try to find her, maybe. I don't know. I didn't foresee Max being just back.
Yeah, I mean, my initial gut reaction at the end of season 4, when it had just ended, was, it sort of I don't know, was implying like, all right, we're going to pick up right from where this ended. And then finding out later that there was a significant time jump. I'm like, whoa, that's
Well,
weird.
yeah, I mean, especially how it ended. I mean, it ended
Yeah.
like, them standing on the hillside watching their town burn.
I can't handle
It's just
another
gonna.
season of, real depressed Max. So
Nah, she'll be great. Well, in a coma, is that mean it's equal to
She's in
No,
a
but
coma.
she
She's not
was-
depressed.
but I mean, if she's like already out of the coma, like I hope that I don't have to watch her like
try to learn
I'll
how to
just-
walk?
like it just a
Like Kill Bill.
montage.
Got 3 episodes of physical therapy. For
Yeah,
heaven's sake.
no, I'm kidding. 'Cause that's definitely going to offend somebody. But what I'm saying is, I just don't. I like it. It just makes me sad. Like I want regular Max back.
Right.
Yeah.
Happy Max. Shouldn't say regular. Happy
Right.
Max.
Maybe she'll spend the whole season like in a psychological trap or something like that.
Well, that's kind of what I thought too. Was
Right.
that like 11 will be bouncing around in her brain looking for
Right.
Vecna or whatever.
It's quite possible. Yeah, I feel like I really want to predict something about the Max story arc, but I can't settle on anything making a whole hell of a lot of sense.
No.
The only reason
obviously,
go ahead.
I mean, I know time has passed, right? Because in that clip in the teaser, she doesn't have casts on her arms and legs.
Yeah, and her
She doesn't
eyes
have-
aren't bandaged.
Yeah, there's no bandage on her eyes.
Right.
So some time has passed. I just didn't necessarily think it was a year and a half had passed, but I don't know. So
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see, and this is the first prediction we're going to get wrong, right? I mean, it's like,
Listen, you
Is-
just be positive, okay? Glass
So,
half
like,
empty over there.
It's not
Oh,
about
well.
getting it right or wrong. We're just having
Okay.
a fun discussion, Colin.
raise your hand if you think episode 1 or chapter 1 of season 5 is going to start a year and a half after. It's going to start in the fall of 1987.
I kind of do.
I think so. I think it is.
Yeah?
I think
Yeah.
so. I think they find a way to do that every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they're just going to say it's an earthquake.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm
Which-
just curious what you guys think.
I mean, the
I
only
have no
weird
idea.
part is that it started doing the upside down flake. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that was like a
And the
upside down
vines
flare.
that are creeping up by the library from, the depths of hell.
Right.
They're
That's
vines?
kind of weird.
I mean, I remember sitting
I don't
there when the season ended, and Whitney and I were arguing about whether or not Enzo's was okay.
Yeah.
If there's still a restaurant there or not. So, I mean, they're going to have to do something to address what has happened in the past year and a half. I mean, I would,
Right.
it's not like nothing happened and they could just kind of skate right on past and there were a couple of things that happened, but nothing of importance. No, here we go, a year and a half later. I mean, the entire town was on fire. People were dead.
Yeah.
You know,
Earthquake.
A lot of people.
Well, how many people died? Jason, Brown, chopped in half.
Right.
I think that was about it, wasn't it?
Oh, Jason.
Well, except
Well,
for,
like people
Fred,
got killed. Sure.
I mean, except for all the people whose houses happen to be on the fault line and were,
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's Stranger Things. It's not supposed.
I mean,
That's true.
apparently Argyle died. We know Eddie died. We got,
Yeah.
So I'm not saying Argyle died, but it's just good.
Yeah.
He's
I
not
mean, he
around
just-
anymore. So
He just hightailed it out of town, which I
Yeah.
don't
I
blame
mean,
him.
it's not to rag on the show, but like it's running out of time to just destroy this town. They got to wrap it up.
Well, I mean, they covered up the mall
Yeah.
incident with a fire, and a
Yep.
ton of people died in that. Right?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and also like I don't know. I feel like I've been trying to slip this thought in like ever since I've been on the podcast, right? Like one thing I do like about the show is that we're supposed to just
Yeah,
not get so hung up about these
Yeah.
technicalities.
Right.
I really do like that about the show. Like
I do too.
these superhero movies now, they're trying to be set in reality, and it's
Mm-mm.
just like no,
Nope.
people don't wear
I don't-
costumes and are vigilantes. Right?
Well, and also
Like,
I
stop
want an
trying to
escape.
make it real.
I
Yes,
want an
yes,
escape from
yes.
reality. I don't want
Yes.
I don't want it to be realistic. That's what I'm saying. Everyone's like, if it's a happy ending, it's going to be unrealistic. Perfect. That's what I want.
That's yeah.
yeah, because
Totally.
it's certainly feasible that Dustin and Erica can crawl through,
Yes.
500 yards of heat ducts and escape the Russian army that is armed to the teeth with, Kalashnikovs
Right.
So,
and
yeah.
can somehow get, 40 stories back up to the surface
Exactly.
and nobody,
So yes,
course,
the
that's
dopey
all
town
logical.
buys
Yeah.
the earthquake story, and everything's just fine.
Well, I
Right.
mean, maybe Vecna makes him think that it's
Oh, tra la la.
uses his, mind powers.
You get the Men in Black.
Yeah, the zappers.
Yep. All right, let's start getting into some specific theories here. So, one of mine right off the bat was I just thought, I don't know if they would, but I think they should do something to kind of tie in the first shadow to this season. Just it doesn't have to be a plot breaking point or something like that, because obviously a lot of people haven't seen the first shadow and will not have before the thing opens. But it'd be kind of neat to do like a little Easter eggy kind of thing or something for people who had seen it. I didn't know if, I remember back in our We Need Answers episode, I had talked about wanting to have like some kind of explanation on the origin of the Upside Down and Dimension X and where it all started, how it all began, even if it's just like a quick 5-minute scene. But that would give them, a chance to tie in the first shadow and the whole origin of the Demogorgon with the whole World War II battleship and the cloaking thing. The whole that starts off the play basically explains where, the first Demogorgon came from. So it's not necessarily a theory. I just think it'd be kind of a fun little thing to put in there, and I'd love
Weave
to
it in.
they'd be kind of fun to
Mhm.
toss that in there somewhere. It's not going to be, again, it's not going to be major, but
I'm shocked at how much like information from the first shadow could be used in could be important. Like the fact that Bob Newby's sister dated somebody that was important. I was like watching this whole thing about all the who do you remember who it was? I can't. Who did?
No, and I should, but yes. Well, I mean, she was the one that was kind of macking on Henry Creel.
Maybe it's Henry. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, so they were kind of, really,
there was
really
just
good
a lot
friends,
of stuff
kind of,
that I was shocked that I was like, well, that seems important.
Yeah.
So maybe they're gonna put. I don't know. I'm surprised they haven't put it on Netflix yet.
But I mean, again, that was all stuff that was happening back in 1959, and then the World War II stuff was like 19. I can't remember if it was 42 or 43, somewhere in that. Obviously, in the World War II, time frame. So here we are now again, fall of '87. So you're either almost 30 years later or 40 years later, depending on what you're talking about. So I don't know. But I just thought it'd be kind of interesting or kind of fun to
I agree.
Especially, I mean, Kate wrote the first shadow and she wrote, she's credited for, I think, episode 6 or 7. I can't remember, in the new season. And
is it just six or 7? I thought she did a lot more.
I think she and the Duffers are kind of running the writer's room. So, but I think, to think that the Duffers didn't have a hand in writing an episode that they're not credited as being a writer on is kind of silly.
Yeah.
I think they all kind of wrote together and they just, give various writers credits, for the credit. But I know that she is pretty instrumental in the writer's room, along with the Duffers, obviously. So, and since she wrote the first shadow, I would imagine there'll be something tossed in there somewhere. So just kind of a nice little lob of a theory to kind of kick us off. Nothing terribly controversial.
Mine is going to be, it's going to maybe make some people mad, but it's not technically mine. Okay. I didn't come up with this one. I just saw it and then I latched onto it. I was like, yes, that sounds feasible. But it is that Will is being erased from everyone's memory by Vecna. And that's why the Duffers were like, whose birthday's on March 22nd? And then they didn't even put it in there. And then because it was like even an extra slap in the face that it was like on the camera and there were like birthday parties happening at Rinkarama.
Yeah.
During are there any other supporting factors into this theory except for the birthday blunder?
Which they fessed up to and said sometimes you just forget your friend's birthday or something like that. And that they tweeted something out.
Yeah, they were like, sometimes you just forget your friend's birthday.
Right.
There was the whole there was the birthday thing. And remember like, this isn't the first time that they've forgotten Will's birthday. Like, apparently it's happened before, because there's a card in his room at one point that says, "Sorry, I forgot your birthday." So I don't know. And that was back in Hawkins, I believe.
Right.
Is it from his shitty dad?
Lonnie.
Lonnie.
A lot of people think Lonnie's going to make an appearance. I'm like, guys, no, I don't think he is. I think he was
No, I don't
just.
either.
No, Lonnie.
Yeah, but I think that Will is going to be erased from everyone's memory by Vecna, and that he's going to die. I think Will is going to have to sacrifice himself.
Like, and permanently die, not like a fake death to get everybody kind of.
No, I think that he is
Dead.
I think he's going to. I think out of everybody, he's the top. He's on the chopping block,
Right?
Because
you said that your AI Death Watch heat index.
Oh, my intern, Resand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had him analyze the shows and come up with my list of who's going to die in order, like their biggest chances, and Will consistently too. I did it more than once.
Yep. Well, I think I think it makes total sense.
I mean, as much as I don't like him, that's still it's just gonna ruin my holidays. Like, it really is.
Right.
Like, we're all gonna be crying on New Year's Eve.
I mean, I think obviously he's gonna play, big role. Cause I mean, the whole show, it started with him, it's gonna end with him. It's
like from the clip of him screaming "run," like we said in the last episode, I think it's him being possessed.
Yeah.
I think he's like holding something back.
Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, I think I'm a big fan of bookends, and starts with him, ends with him. But they can't start with the lab guy who got eaten in the elevator, which would be a really cool bookend. But after that,
he comes back, saves everybody.
It's Will.
I don't think Will dies. I feel like it's too obvious.
It's just I don't want any of them to die.
I don't think any of the
I don't either.
4 boys will die.
You think 11's gonna die?
No, I don't know. Maybe she'll.
Either way, even with Will and 11, who are like the top 2 contenders for dying when it comes to like closing the Upside Down, and even if it's not like 11 dying and it's just like she's got to go live in the Upside Down to like be its guardian or whatever, that's still super depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Well, that was one of my theories too. I said no one under the age of 25, except for maybe Nancy. Maybe. Nancy would die. That's my theory. And then, the adults I think are fair game. I thought maybe Murray or Owens,
I think Murray's a goner.
Might die. But yeah, I honestly don't think anyone under the age of 25 is going to die.
I hope not. But
why Nancy? Just because she's awesome?
Because the whole possessed by Vecna.
Oh, slightly possessed. Okay, sure.
When she saw her vision.
Yeah, the vision with Vecna. Yeah. So she's kind of, she's not more marked than Will is, certainly. I mean, Will is obviously marked more than she is, but I really don't think any of the party are going to die. Mike, Dustin, Will, Lucas. I really don't, or Max or Elle. Because I can't imagine just practically the idea of killing off one of the kids. Mm-hmm. And how that would go over with the fandom. Not that the Duffers are ruled by that, but
I know it just makes me nervous.
Dear Lord, how is that going to go over?
I mean any one of those they did to Umbrella Academy in season 4.
Well, I don't know the Umbrella Academy, so
they ruined it. I just pretended it ended at season 3.
There you go. So yeah, I mean that was my one of my other theories is no one under the age of 25 is going to die. It Will would make sense, with the whole bookend idea, but I don't see them killing any of the kids, but I don't know. Now, being erased from everyone's memory and then somehow, coming back at the end or something like that, I can kind of get into that certainly, but I don't know.
Maybe it wouldn't be as bad if he was just erased and like they didn't even know, if nobody even knew of him. They didn't remember him. They couldn't be sad.
Right.
Wow.
Joyce is going to wander down the hall. Whose room is this? Why is this
Why do I have?
why do I have this little kid's room? Like,
Almost worse.
there's like posters and books in here. Whose room is this? This is weird.
Yeah, I have
Jonathan?
no
Jonathan,
strong
do you?
conviction about any kid dying. I don't see it happening. Again, like I said, happy ending. I feel like it's going to be really happy.
Oh gosh, I hope so.
I would love to think it. I'm not sure it's going to be 100% happy. I have a feeling
Yeah. A lot of people were
There's
crying
gonna
in
be
the
some-
stories, right?
there's going to be some gravitas and somebody's
Yeah,
going to die.
and
But-
yeah, everybody is like freaking Noah Schnapp had like a breakdown when he read the script.
Yeah. I mean, nobody came out of the table read and went, yay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess you're right.
Well, such an
My
uplifting
daughter
story.
keeps saying they're like, either no one dies or everybody dies.
Right. Well, that too. Sure. All right.
Yes.
Give us one of yours, Doug. What do you got?
Oh, easy ones. I think Terry Ives is coming back for at least something. Harry brought that up a long time ago, and I always liked it. Just some sort of reconciliation of that, at least a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's gonna, come out of the chair and become some sort of hero.
Right.
Like, I don't think that's gonna be anything significant like that, but I feel like we're gonna just see her. How's that for a nice little softball? I feel like I want to. That's a
I don't know, would
season
that
2
throw
throwback,
off-
and
would that throw off her relationship with Joyce? And
yeah, I don't know. Is Joyce a great mom?
nobody in the 80s were a great mom, except for my mom, who never let me do anything.
There you go.
No, I mean, I could see Terry having some kind of role, whether it's through Becky or, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
I could
Mhm.
certainly see something like that happening. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an easy one. I just feel like we're gonna see her.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just, that's like a weak point of season 2, like to me, it's just like finds her mom. Yeah, she's a vegetable, but
But she gives her like some of the most important information she
Right.
needs to like find out
yeah,
the
kind of.
mystery. You know what I mean? Like with yeah, no, I agree with you saying like it is weird that they just popped her in there
Yeah.
and it was like, by the way, she just sits in this rocker all day, every day.
Well, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. I mean, they have, we were just talking about Ms. Kelly, right? Before we started recording. Like, she kind of randomly came in and was really ominous and might not result in anything. And then Mr. Clark pretty much disappeared. I know the kids moved on from the school, but
Yeah, see, that makes more sense. Like they
no,
didn't
but
he didn't
Yeah.
seem to like he didn't seem like he was playing like a huge role, but like
no.
Miss Kelly did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Super weird. You skipped over your one about flashbacks.
Oh no, I'm just kind of skipping all over the place. But
Oh,
yeah.
okay, my bad.
Yeah, no, I said, yeah, and this is one of my big one, and I really honestly think this is going to happen, and I really honestly hope it's going to happen, and that is, other than maybe in flashbacks, there will be no Eddie. Eddie's not making any kind of return, and then more to the point,
That's not happening.
there will absolutely
Oh,
be.
people think it is though,
People are
Oh.
crazy.
Everybody thinks Eddie's coming back.
He's toast, maybe.
because of Kaz, the whatever.
Yeah, and then part 2 of that is there will absolutely be no return of Kali or 8 or whatever you want to call her.
No.
I can't imagine a world.
I think it would take away from
which-
11.
Yeah, I can't imagine a world where she would have any role. And then on the practical side, how much the fandom, hate is a strong word, did not enjoy that whole little
Mhm.
side storyline. And the Duffers, in fact, admitted that, yeah, they kind of boofed it with that episode. It's not like you guys didn't understand us. Like, yeah, we kind of did that wrong. We
Yeah.
we kind of messed up. So yeah, no Eddie and no Kali. Those are my 2
But you know who
take
I
them to the
think
bank predictions.
is gonna come
Well,
into play?
Go ahead. Sorry.
I think
Axel.
Peter.
You think
Peter.
Axel's gonna
Peter.
come?
Peter, I
Axel.
am not giving up on this. There is no freaking way that Peter, there is just no way that Peter doesn't mean anything. And I know everyone's like, well, the never said that it's, his name is Henry and Peter was just a fake name. I'm like, yeah, that's what they'd say if they didn't want you to figure it out.
Right.
Like, of course.
Now,
I think that's something.
Are you thinking this ties in with the Owens Peter?
Yes, there is
Okay.
no way that there was an orderly that was named Peter and then Owens as a kid named Peter. And why did the military take his school projects?
Right.
What,
I think
what
you're
was
right.
the importance in that?
That
It has to come back into play. There is no freaking way.
That was too significant of a dialogue drop to be made.
Yes. So I kind of think that maybe Henry
That's
lived,
all they took.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something.
I think that he maybe lived with Owens for a while.
It's possible.
Yeah.
So I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
Because all I said was those are Peter's school projects.
Yes.
It was never that's our son's school projects or
What are you
Yeah.
doing? Why are you taking Peter's school projects?
Yeah. Yeah.
Telling you, it has to be. I just refuse to believe that it was just a fake name.
Yeah.
that they
No,
used.
I can totally
Because
see
why even use that?
Right.
Why even use a fake name? We didn't know who Henry Creel was
that. Right.
before season 4 came out.
Right.
It's a thing.
It is a thing.
Thing.
Bingo
No, I get it.
card.
Yeah, no, I mean, another one of mine was that I think the parents are going to play a much bigger role this year. They're going to bring the adults back into the fold a little bit. I mean, obviously Joyce will play a large role. I think Karen is going to, after getting pretty much screwed in season 4 and not
After having that poster.
having a whole poster all to herself and then
Yeah,
not
that
really
means
having
something
much of a
too.
role. So I think, Karen will come back and, be kind of badass and Joyce will be badass. Maybe Ted will have a role. Who knows?
Yeah, I
but
want to see
but
Ted do something heroic.
Yeah, no, but I think the parents are going to play a much bigger role. Not necessarily bigger than the kids, but compared to prior seasons, the parents will, well, Joyce and Karen specifically. I don't think Claudia is going to do too much, or then we don't even know who Steve's parents are. So
No, that makes me nervous.
yeah, so
Yeah, I like that.
yeah, those are my thoughts.
I want to see more Ted, baby.
Right?
Ted cracks me up.
I think Ted might bite it.
Ted might die.
I
Ted
think
like it.
maybe.
Ted.
I think when there's that one scene in the trailer or the teaser, we shouldn't even call it a trailer. It's a teaser
Yeah.
and Joyce is holding, or not Joyce, Karen's holding Holly.
Yep.
And they're like
Mhm.
watching something horrifying happening. And I feel like it's maybe Ted dying.
No, that could be.
It could
Like Ted's
be.
trying to save him and he
Right.
dies.
Yeah.
Yes. Good segue. That was one of my predictions with the chapter 2 title. I really do not think it is the disappearance of Holly Wheeler that everyone thinks it is.
Hmm.
Either it's one of the other ones or it's a curveball and it means something different than just getting sucked into the upside down. I really think it's a play on words or something like that. Like they're missing, but they're not abducted or something like that. I don't know. Like,
You don't think it's
as
Holly?
opposed-
Though? Holly's like my number one who I think it might be.
I mean, as opposed to like the vanishing of, right?
Yeah.
all right.
Right.
I think Holly is going to play a bigger role. Like you think Ted's going to
Well,
play.
she got recast, right? Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, she got recast, and I think that she's going to be a big player in the spinoff
Yes.
Right.
that they're doing. And if you're like in season 1, like it would all light up when Holly was around. Remember,
Yep.
like when
Yeah,
they,
yeah.
when-
Holly Jolly.
yeah,
Yeah.
like they would go, like all the lights would light up, and the Demogorgon reached out for her.
Yep.
So I can see her having some sort of connection.
Yeah. And again, I mean it's the second episode of the new season that is the
Mhm.
disappearance of whoever. So, it's not like it's the 8th episode and they're gonna have to give it away, early on. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it could be. So, I mean, I totally hear what you're saying. I have no idea. Could be. I mean, it's obviously Karen, Ted, Nancy, Will, Holly, right? So I mean, or Nancy, Mike, Holly. So it's got to be one of those 5, unless there's a closeted,
Wait, why do you think it has to be one of those
Wheeler.
5?
because their last name are Wheeler. It's the disappearance of blank Wheeler, right?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what
it is? I thought
Yeah.
it was just the whole second part was blurred
No,
out.
it's the disappearance of blank Wheeler.
One of the Wheelers.
One of the
It's
Wheelers.
Holly.
Would they just give that away up front?
I don't know, though. You're right. I don't know.
I mean, why not just say it? Disappearance of Holly Wheeler. Who the cares? It's sorry.
Watch your mouth.
I know.
Hey, our
Podcast.
first F-bomb, yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean,
We
why?
have kids
Why would we?
listening.
Why would we care if it's the disappearance of Holly Wheeler? And like it would get us
Yeah.
talking and theorizing, but it's not like
That's right. Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
That's why
All
it's got to be
right.
something. It's got to be something a little bit different than what They're
Right.
smart. These guys are really smart. They
Right.
never
agree.
do what we think they're going to do.
Right.
And then it's just like, oh, yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's up? You want me to drop my bomb so you could yell at me now?
Yeah, just go ahead. Do it. I'm ready.
Yep.
All right. My death prediction.
Rip off the
is-
Band-Aid.
I really think Hopper's going to die.
Wrong.
Wrong.
You guys
No,
don't think
there
so?
is no way in hell that he's going to die. No
right.
possible
Well,
way.
let's rephrase this. You honestly think Hopper's going to die? You hope Hopper's going to die?
I certainly don't hope Hopper dies. Hopper is.
We will
the
kick
best.
you off the podcast if that's what you hope for.
If anyone, okay, let me posit it this way, right? Like, if Hopper is the easiest one to make a legitimate case without just pulling something out of left field, like Murray dying, you're just saying like, yeah, Murray, he could die
Because he's
Like,
not
he's
he's not that
expendable.
important. Yes.
right? Yeah. Like, all right, so we're talking about tragedy here that we're crying about at the end of the 8th chapter script, right? Like, the Hopper story arc leads to Hopper dying.
Mm-mm. There's just no way I don't think they would do it twice.
That's the only thing. You're right. But I mean, Max died twice for Christmas sake. I almost joined Collin's
Max died twice.
swear jar. Yeah, like they gave us the old, she didn't die twice. We thought she was going to die, and then they actually did half kill her at the end. Well, they did kill her. The Levy brought her back. I mean, they doubled down on that out of nowhere.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Oh, see, maybe
Okay.
it makes a lot of sense.
Are you ready for my crack theory?
Sure.
It's not mine. It's one that I saw, and I'm like, ooh, I kind of like it. What if Karen Wheeler is Alice Creel, Henry's sister? It's a very crack theory. But
Yeah, where did this come from? The sister's
Be-
dead.
Because
You
the sister
think
didn't
that.
really die?
Because I just rewatched that episode,
Uh-huh. They
and
never show her die.
everyone else that gets vecna'd, they have like tons of blood, and their arms are all like, bent, like all their bones are all
Yeah.
broken. And Alice was just laying on the floor, and she literally had like 2 little red drops by her eyes,
Mm.
and her arms and legs were normal. So it's
Mhm.
almost like it was like less than what happened to Max.
Right.
So what if Alice lived, and then they ended up like putting Karen, like not witness protection, but they changed her name and everything so that Henry
Hmm.
can't find her.
Why Karen? Just cause? Seems cool.
Because she got that poster in season 4, and it was in front of the Creel house. Why?
Oh, okay.
She got a whole poster dedicated to her. And like all the characters and hers, they were all like significant places. Like I'm trying to remember where the other ones were in front of, but
Yeah.
why did they put her in front? She's literally never at the Creel house. She has no connection to that we know of.
Well, that would
Right.
certainly be out of left field.
I mean,
Yeah.
it would be.
I just
I'm
feel
not-
like they got so much to answer that we want answered. Why throw in this crazy ass twist like that? I don't know.
Well, what if because Karen is related to Henry Creel, that's why Holly has a connection to the Upside Down?
Well, it's operating on the assumption that Holly is connected to the Upside
But
Down.
I'm saying you could combine my theory.
the whole tower of dominoes, they're all
Yeah.
just going to fall over because one thing, right?
Yeah. I like
Hey,
it.
sure.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm on board. Sounds great.
Karen is Alice, and therefore Holly is something,
Mhm.
and then this is something, and then Joyce is
Mhm.
going to do this, and then so if one doesn't work, then the whole thing falls apart.
And I have links to, if we want to share, I've got links to, I kept all the links to these theories where I found them.
Yeah,
Like
we'll post
the
them.
2 that
Yeah.
I've,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but most of these that I I think I have one that was like my like theory, but the rest is put together by people that are much smarter than me.
Yeah. Not that they're that sounded bad. Yeah, there are people smarter than you.
Yeah, Whitney.
No. No, I mean,
99% of the world.
I think like that kind of theory, those are the kind of theories that people are like trying to fit puzzle pieces together that
Maybe.
don't necessarily fit together. But there's a 1 in 100 chance that they're right. And if
right, but
know,
I mean, it is just weird. Why did she get that poster? Why?
Yeah.
Maybe it's contractual.
Maybe maybe Cara Buono was like, listen, I get my own main character poster.
Yeah,
that's right.
But not in front of my house because the Wheeler house is kind of boring and who cares?
Yeah,
that's right.
So put me in front of the Creel house.
That is weird, that poster though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I got one other one. My only other one was that I didn't think any other bigger bad is going to emerge than what we've already had. I don't think there's going to be a Thessal Hydra necessarily, or a,
oh, I do.
Great white shark, or whatever. Pick a
King
Kong, Godzilla, whatever.
Thessal Hydra.
I do. I think that there's no way we don't see I don't think there's any way we don't see the Thessal Hydra.
Just because of the first season
and Will's painting.
Yeah, because they bring it. Well, Will's painting was a dragon. Really,
which is a 3-headed.
Yeah, it's really
similar.
Yeah,
right.
But yeah, I think
it's Thessal Hydra a 3-headed dragon.
No, it's a 3-headed creature. I don't think it's necessarily a dragon, but
Collin.
I don't think it's a dragon.
That is
Doug, Google.
That could easily be what
Hydra. I know is like a lion, a serpent, and something else, right?
Well, let's see.
What makes it a Thessal Hydra? Hang on, I'm on it. All right, you're on it.
I think.
Oh, it's a creature with a gaping mouth.
Yeah,
reptilian body with a long tail, large, sharp. Yeah, it's just like a creature. It's not like a.
But it has like dragony heads.
No, it's got like kind of snaky heads. Well, they're Hydra heads, which are kind of like.
There's no need to point out that Will's, artistic skills were subpar. We all saw it, okay? But what I'm saying is he has all the boys fighting that thing. That's going to play into it.
I mean, I think that there's going to be a super monster creature thing, but it doesn't undo what you're saying, though, Collin. Like, that's not going to be the final king boss.
The final big bad.
Right. It's just
we already know who the final boss is, the final big bad, whatever you want to call it.
And listen to this.
Do we? I'm curious. Go ahead.
No, that's my theory. I'm not stating it as fact.
No. Go ahead.
In Dungeons and Dragons lore, the Thessal Hydra can push through a demiplane to reach the Upside Down. Dimension X. It attacks on villages, farms, and castles and leaves no trace, and even a group of soldiers can barely fight it off. In Stranger Things, in season 4, episode 7, The Massacre at Hawkins Lab, the characters hear a distant roar and feel an earthquake while in the Upside Down. Subtitles call it The Creature. So,
exciting.
Sorry.
I feel like we're getting a monster.
We're getting the Thessal Hydra.
We may get a Thessal Hydra, but I don't think it's going to be the final big bad.
Oh, you think? Right. Yeah. What do you mean?
I think the ultimate creature that needs to be killed for life to return to normal is either Vecna or the Shadow Monster.
Yeah, who do you think it is? I think it's the Shadow Monster.
I think the Shadow Monster is over. Vecna is over.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't think Vecna is the king of. I did think that until we went to Dimension X and the Shadow Monsters were already there.
Yes.
I thought we just saw the Demogorgons, like in the little Demodogs.
No, all the background. There's all like.
Oh.
Yeah, the smoke. Okay. Yeah, you were talking about it last time. Like you thought he tamed the smoke monster.
Yeah.
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 I think. No, but if he tamed the smoke monster, I would think that he's in charge.
Yeah. Well, we didn't see him tame nothing. Right.
That's true.
I think we're.
I think.
Well, have you seen
the smoke monster existed before Vecna, and therefore I think Vecna is above. Sorry, the Shadow Monster is above Vecna.
But have you also seen the theories that we saw Vecna all the way back in season 1? that was who was chasing Will, and it wasn't.
Oh
the
yeah,
Demogorgon.
my daughters are just talking about that. It's this. I was like, bullshit, daughters. That's the Demogorgon.
It's a Demogorgon. We saw it in the middle of the
If they
road.
retcon that, I'm just like, no way. There's no way.
I need to go back and look closer. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's very
I was
clearly
intrigued.
It's very tall,
the
slim.
Demogorgon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I'm on a podcast with two people that don't have any imagination.
It wasn't
Go get your own podcast. Looney Tune theories from.
Okay, all right. Well, hang on. These statements are helping. We're getting there into what I'm positing in my brain, anyways, right? So I think that the smoke monster, like Vecna Henry 1, VH1, he's a sociopath maniac, right? But I think the smoke monster is what creates the hive mind, right? So we're getting into some real nerd technicalities here, right? The smoke is what binds it all together. Because as we saw in the base, right, the smoke went into the Demogorgons, Demodogs that were floating in the thing and animated them. That's what the guard who's dying says. It went in them, right? Then they become reanimated because they have this smoke. The smoke was in Will. That leaves him. It obviously stayed in him somehow, right? Okay, so here's the me going off the rails to a certain extent. I started to rewatch, and in season 1, and I don't know if this is just like a snafu because they didn't know where they were going, but the Demogorgon opens the buyer's house door with its mind. It slides
it moves
the chain.
it moves the
right?
chain. Yep.
Right?
Or it
And
was
then-
Henry.
Sure, right. Like
Whatever.
I'm just-
Some force opened the chain. It was
right.
not.
So the smoke binds it all together, I think, right? And then also, I don't know if this is just some sort of notion of just like we don't feel like explaining what kills these Demogorgons. Like, so why does a spike bat disrupt the Demogorgon, and at the same time it can withstand 12 machine guns shooting bullets at it without flinching, right? Like the life force is the smoke that keeps this thing moving, I think. Right? That's the only way that I can explain it. Otherwise, I'm just like, what kills this thing? You just make it up as you go? Anyways, I just spewed that out all real fast.
Yeah.
So
But-
what's your theory?
I guess, the big bad is the smoke, and that's what's flowing through everything. I'm just sort of citing these things that I've noticed that sort of,
I agree with that. I think the smoke monster, the thing that took Will on the playground, the thing that is hovering over the school with the snowball, that is the big bad. That's the ultimate, antagonist for the series.
I think so too. And here's just my, out of left field plotline theory, right? I think they might actually beat Vecna at the end of Volume 1. As early as Volume 1, right? And that's when they realize, like, oh shit, it's it's this smoke monster actually that is the problem. Nothing like, a false victory. And then in comes a Thessal Hydra.
Just really, really ruin your night.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I've got one more, and this is the one that I thought about, and I came up with. It's real dumb, but I like it.
Yeah.
So what if they didn't really kill Vecna or run him off at the end of season 4, and instead he just made him think that? So this whole time they think that life has just gone on like normal, but really he's been like moving players on the board while they're like in their, Vecna comas or whatever. He's got them like all like.
So all the kids are in the Matrix? The Vecna Matrix? I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of assumed when they looked out the window and he wasn't there anymore that he wasn't running to hide or wasn't, running away somewhere, that he was okay enough to go off and, live to fight another day or to plot his revenge or, something like that. That's kind of where I was in it. So if that's what you're saying, then I agree with that.
Yeah. Hey, not to double back. That's another, point that I was saying about the smoke monster, right? Like as far as I can recall, VH1 is a human who can't withstand multiple shotgun shots to his chest, right? Like, how is he surviving these gunshots?
Right.
Like,
Because he's just like a monster.
yeah,
He got
I'm saying the
transformed into
smoke is,
something.
yeah, the smoke is
Oh,
making
so
him a
are
monster.
you
Yeah.
saying that like Vecna has no, what's the word I'm looking for? Like he's not making
Autonomy?
it. Yes.
No, I think he does. I think he's just, turned into this, this hive mind collective that has this dark life force running through it. That's what's actually making these creatures be able to withstand mortal
Well,
blows.
see, like I didn't. That goes back to like season 3. Like, I mean, I love season 3, but I don't really understand why he had to have all those people turn into like the goo
Yeah.
build
That's
the
because it's Stranger
monster.
Things, I think, right?
Yeah, like so. But is that like kind of what you're thinking? Like the hive mind, like it can make like it's sending out its like generals to like its soldiers to like collect people.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
I
have it all
think
flushed out, nor do I even care to make sure. I just like feeling like I'm on some
Yeah.
sort of trail. I don't want to solve anything. If that,
Yeah.
like, I want to be surprised. By the way,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
I'm left
yeah.
curious a lot by like how just the fact that there's no rhyme or reason to what actually affects these beasts at times, except decapitating it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And the fire, right?
Well, the
It's all
fire and that
interesting.
half the town was gone after the 4th of July that year. Like,
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that is a different point, I guess. Is what I don't know. I can't explain the goo. Just
Yeah, because we always called the goo the mind flayer, the smoke monster is the smoke monster, and Vecna's Vecna.
oh,
And
I
then they
thought
go,
the mind flayer was the smoke monster, like given like form.
yeah. That's what
yeah,
I think of when we say the mind flayer. The
yeah,
meat flayer
yeah,
Yeah.
was the
Ugh,
corpse monster.
right.
gross. Okay. Do we want to do Resand's Death Watch heat index?
Yeah, we can just kind of,
Yeah. Do you want me to just run through it?
yeah, go for it.
Okay. Before anybody gets mad at me and says, you don't like Will, I entered this in several times to see what, if it could analyze if my chat GPT, who I named Resand, he's like my intern. And I asked him if he would analyze the seasons and who he thought would have the biggest chance of dying. So here's what he said. Will, top tier toast. The Duffers want a full circle ending, and he's the upside down's emotional anchor. Number 2, Max. She wakes up just to sacrifice herself. It's very on brand for her.
Oh, no way.
I don't
She's
think
too
so.
good of an actress.
3, Steve. Let's be honest. He's only safe if fans threaten to riot en masse, and we might. I don't think they're going to kill Steve.
Oh.
Murray. If someone's going out in a blaze of Molotov fueled glory, it's him. Robin. If she gets a girlfriend in a real moment of joy, worry. And then Jonathan. Snooze
Robin.
fest lately. Feels like he could die heroically to save Will or Nancy, and nobody would fully break.
Yeah, I mean, I just put it into Gemini, and Gemini said, Will is a very strong theory. The show began with his disappearance, and blah blah blah. Then Steve, then 11, then Murray, then Jonathan, or what Gemini said when I just type in who's going to die in season 5 of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
Yep.
I mean, but then again,
Hopper.
it might just be too obvious, so they might not go with it.
so yeah. I mean, I agree that if one of the kids dies, it would be Will. I don't really think any of the kids are going to die, but
I like how
if,
you said that. Yes,
if one of them did, my bet would be on Will. Yeah.
I would agree.
Okay, you want to get some emails?
Hey, before you
Or
go,
anything,
did you guys?
any other theories that we didn't get to? Did we?
I mean, I saved my most crazy
Oh.
theory for last, which
Oh,
was
did I miss one? We missed one. Okay.
It's okay.
Oh, wait.
It's just quick. It's just based
Okay.
on a couple of observations. So everyone is always, theorizing about the origins of the upside down. My crazy theory is that the upside down is derived from Will's mind.
Yeah.
Something with taking him through the gate, because it's not known whether it exists before he goes through. He's the first one taken through the gate. So I guess the only thing that's really derived from evidence-wise is that I was always interested in seeing the upside down, especially in season 4 and in various places, like not all of the structures are in the Upside Down. So the one thing that always really weirded me out was when they're going to the Wheeler house to find Nancy's guns through the Upside Down. That's the only house. There's no like neighborhood around it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of off in the.
Oh,
I mean, I just kind of took that as
it's literally. I haven't finished my season 4 rewatch, and I've really watched it one time when it came out. So
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of took it as those were like the important.
No, I think it's
not everything's in the Upside Down. It's just the.
Well, who would deem it what is important? Like,
right.
I guess that's what I'm saying. Like,
right.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't fleshed it out completely. It was just like, it's got to be something traced to his brain, I think.
Yeah, stuck on the day. It didn't it stopped progressing on the day he disappeared.
Yeah.
Like, so he couldn't make any more memories, so it couldn't change.
Right.
So.
That's it. Nice and quick.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Okay. We ready for emails?
Let's do it.
Ready.
All right. The first one is from Erin. She says, "Welcome back, Whitney. Hey, Collin and Doug. First time, long time. I've been listening to you guys on my morning dog walks for a long time, but first time emailing. I love the song discussions. I was born in 82 and 80s music is my favorite. I love all the choices you guys listed and totally agree that The Cure needs to be included. I could list 80s songs all day long, but I'll move on to Colin's favorite, Theories. Everyone knows." I've been keeping a Stranger Things bingo card in preparation of season 5, and my kids and I are making predictions as we get closer. Here are some theories we have so far. It's not that Holly disappears. The Duffers are smarter than us and know that's what we'll think. I think Nancy is the one who is taken, and I'm afraid that either Steve or Jonathan will need to die to save her. Leading us to the question I hate to think about. Who survives, Steve or Jonathan? It better be Steve. At our house, we're thinking that the Steve-Nancy rekindling in season 4 was just a setup to give us more hurt when Steve, the forever protector, dies. Ooh. Season 5, episode 6 is titled Escape from, how do you say it? Cosmatos?
Camazotz.
Camazotz. Not really a new prediction, but I'm putting $100 that Eddie makes his return in this episode, and I'm so here for it. I don't think they played Master of Puppets only as it pertained to season 4. Eddie is going to be the master of the bats as, what is it?
Camazotz.
Camazotz is a terrifying bat god who served death according to the Mayans. And I forget if Doug or Collin mentioned Ozzy Osbourne. We're definitely getting some Ozzy in this episode. And last, who won't make it out? Our bets are on Steve, 11, and Hopper. Knowing Hopper's character, I just don't think he can make it out alive while the kids don't. I think he and Elle go together. And some questions we still have. Why Will? As in, why was he taken in season 1, episode 1? Is it possible that Vecna was confused and thought he was taking 11, but instead got a kid similar age and size to 11, so Will was taken by mistake? If not, why did Elle escape the same day that Will disappeared? How did Brenner know about Henry Creel in the first place? And what is Dr. Owen's connection to him? Brenner called Henry Peter, and when the government guys were raiding Owen's home, his wife shouted, "Why are you taking that box? Those are Peter's old school projects." I think Henry was raised or lived with Owens at some point. Otherwise, why name some unknown kid we've never heard of, and why take his things? I think Owens and Vecna's connection will be useful in defeating him as well. That's all I have for now. Glad to see some light out of the void. Aaron in Boston.
Ew.
Aaron and I had very similar theories.
So you just got a new best friend.
I know.
Yeah.
There's just no way. No way.
Camazotz is the wrinkle in time thing for sure.
Yeah.
Someone's going to be under possession, and they got to get him out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Presumably whoever disappeared in episode 2.
Very likely.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, next email is from Max. They say, I have a Kaz D&D theory that doesn't involve Eddie this time. What if Collin, or 8, has been under Vecna's mind control and manipulation like Billy was and returns to the show as a villain? Then, in a twist, she turns on Vecna in the end to save the gang. I can imagine a major death scene where it looks like Vecna is killing one of our favorite characters, maybe 11, but it turns out he's only seeing what Collin is making him see when the main characters are actually attacking him from behind. There's a clear parallel between how Billy and Vecna tried to get 11 to join us and how Collin once tried to groom her into becoming a vengeful antihero. Maybe Collin wasn't under mind control back then, but became vulnerable to Vecna's influence after 11 abandoned her. I even think Collin's story with Henry could have started earlier, possibly when she escaped the lab. To me, Kali is like Cass. She's not fully in control now, but she'll regain her agency and outsmart Vecna using her powers. I'd love a deeper dive into the storyline. There's a Stranger Things novel mentioned in the fandom timeline that says Brenner was in London and brought Kali back with him to the National Lab in 1969, just before overseeing the MK Ultra experiments. That book probably isn't canon, but it raises questions about her background and how she ended up in the experiments. I think there's still so much story left for her, and revolving that arc would really help close a major plot hole in the show. So that is from Max, and thank them for writing in. Lot to unpack there.
Yeah, I mean, the Collie theories make sense. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, it's kind of a shame because I could totally see it, being a thing had the whole Collie thing been handled right the first time.
Well, and again, I do like, her power would be super helpful in a fight against Vecna, but I just think that takes away from 11.
Right.
Hey, am I the only one who thinks that it's not a plot hole? Like it's just a bad episode?
I just think it's a bad episode.
No, I think it's a bad episode. It's not a plot hole.
Yeah. I don't think that never having Kali return to this show is a result of the episode being bad, right? Like it was intended for her to be on this, mission to find herself 11.
Yeah. I think.
And it was completed.
Yes.
Done and done.
Oh, you think it was just like a standalone episode? Like
a step along the way, right? It was just a step on the. It was just kind of a stepping stone that Elle had, one of many along the way, right? My only point is if it had been handled better or, whatever, there's a chance or more of a chance anyway that Kali could have come back, or if the episode was a little better received or was written better, whatever. I know Kate wrote it, so bite my tongue, but whatever. Or it was credited for writing it. But
I mean, like story arc wise, like I've never had any sort of problem with it at all. It's just the execution of the gang. It's the stupid gang that ruins it. It's all Axel.
It just took me out of the story. It was just unneeded. That's why I didn't like it. It was like, I don't care about what's happening here. I want to go back and get on with what's happening with the people I care about.
Yeah.
No, I take that back too. Kate didn't write. Well, it wasn't credited as writing Lost Shadow. Justin Doble was. I had it in my head that Kate wrote it, but it was Justin. So.
Well, Kelly's not coming back. Done and done.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. We got one from Quinn. All right. So Quinn chimed in with an annotated history of his back catalog of theories. So I have a truncated version of it here. So let's hit some key points. 1, VH1, he reminds us that VH1 absorbs his victims. Obviously, that's going to be a huge thing that comes into play for sure. So where is Max? Quinn suggests somewhere in limbo. Her body is in the hospital, but her being is with VH1. Quinn thinks Dr. Owens and or Dr. K, Linda Hamilton, will come in hot in season 5 and lay some pipe for us and explain the upside down and perhaps why it's stuck in 1983.
Lay some pipe is provide exposition. It's just
I know, but that is not how I normally hear lay.
No, yeah, well, Quinn loves that term for some reason.
No, that is not what I thought of when you said lay some pipe.
Yeah, no.
This is a kid-friendly show.
Well, it was until half an hour ago.
Right.
This is our R-rated episode, yes.
Yep.
All right. Doesn't believe Will has anything to do with the creation or condition of the Upside Down early on. Season 5 will be Will-centric, and they'll weave in the first Shadow origin story. Will shall develop powers given to him by VH1, either intentionally or unintentionally, and he will be the one who dies in a tragic, heroic fashion.
Okay.
I don't think Will's getting any powers.
I
don't think he's like, I don't know, powers in the source of like 11 and stuff. Like, I think he's going to get possessed,
sure.
Like maybe he's going to have like.
Yeah, he's totally going to get possessed. And I also kudos to Quinn for Shadow origin story. Yay.
Indeed. All right, here's a take on the crawl that I really like from Quinn. So, the crawl, he says, based on the suspicion that we will be seeing flashbacks from season 1 to fill in blanks, I have slightly higher confidence in my prediction that the crawl is a reference to Eleven's escape from the lab through the drain pipe, which after I read this, I was like, whoa, 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 hey, okay, Quinn. If we're going to learn
interesting.
Yeah, if we're going to learn what happened that night regarding the gate, the upside down, and what happened to Will, we should also see what happened to 11. The orderlies got her out of the tank and back into their hospital gown. So when did she bolt? Why? Was it because the Demogorgon is running amok in the facility, or did she merely use that as a cover? We don't see her on the outside until lunchtime the following day near Benny's. I think we'll find out this season what happened in between using archived footage, unused footage from 2016, or some other method. And I definitely need to know how she couldn't remember anything from 1979 except where to access the pipe leading off campus. Well, yeah, they explain that. Why is everybody always hung up on why she can't remember that? Dr. Brenner explains it very explicitly.
Can't remember what?
The stuff that happened in 1979 with 1.
Oh. It's called trauma, PTSD.
Right.
Yes.
I kind of like I like the crawl idea though. That's
I do too.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. I
Like,
think.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. All that being said, however, I do like to hedge my bets since people are starting to convince me that Max will be back by the end of chapter 1 or 2. There's an outside chance that the crawl is referencing how she might escape from VH1's absorption. Now, I like the crawl through the pipe better.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of chapter titles, I'm still hoping we get some deathbat action in chapter 6. No, there's no deathbat, people. It's Wrinkle in Time. I did the research for you. Trust me.
I think we're still going to see the Demobats. I think they'll be around. I don't think Eddie's going to be like.
This is referring to
God
to Chemizats, right? That's where this is. Yeah.
All right. So Quinn wrote some other things, like wanted to push back on my respectfully disagreeing with his take that Mike was MVP. Reminds me that it was most valuable, not favorite. And I just have to say, if you're going to resort to semantics, Quinn, then it's not that strong of a case. And last, since we haven't reviewed enough of Quinn's song suggestions, he wanted to add one more, which actually was a good song. So I gave him some grace, and
we'll allow it.
And Collin, help me out with this. Is it Der Kommissar?
Yeah, Der Kommissar.
Der Kommissar. I never knew how to pronounce that. After the Fire. Which is a great song.
Yeah.
He says it's perfect encapsulation of 80s Cold War, Big Brother paranoia, maintaining that feeling that everyone is being watched.
Yep. Yeah, it is a good song. Oh. Good idea. And I'll throw it onto our little Spotify playlist too. I remember to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have Collin, and she says, I think the spillage into Hawkins is going to have to be closed, and I think it'll be Eddie that kills the Mind Flayer, and Elle will kill Vecna and stitch back up the opening to the Upside Down. Her casualty predictions are Will and Joyce, and when she told me this, I told her she was wrong. All of it.
Good Lord, Will and Joyce?
Will and Joyce.
So
what
Jonathan.
Is Jonathan going to do?
Jonathan is going to be like, I was going to say orphan.
Might as well just take him out too.
Right? Good Lord.
I could listen to Joyce dying in heroic martyrdom fashion. Take her boy.
No.
Ugh.
A lot of people cried.
Oh my Lord.
I know. I can't.
I couldn't handle that. And there's no Eddie.
There ain't no Eddie.
I told her that. I said Eddie's not coming back.
Nope.
He said it's just what I think.
Yep.
It's fun theories, people.
Yeah, no, it is. It's fun. I mean, who knows? I mean, everybody could die in the first chapter, and it could be just Eddie for the last 8 chapters. Or 7 chapters.
He could be the hero.
No idea.
Yeah, you could theorize. Oh, yeah. Speaking of crazy theories, we perfect segue into the audio clip from Harry.
This is Harry reaching out from Seattle to say, hi Collin, hi Doug, and also hello to this month's surprise guest host, whoever you are. Just kidding, Whitney. It's great to have you back. So I understand this episode focuses on fan theories about season 5, and that Collin hates this topic because fan theories are always wrong. Well, I have great news. My predictions are always 1000% correct. And with that in mind, I'm going to tell you about Stolly. That's right. I'm predicting a romantic pairing between Steve and Collin, also known as 8. So, are you skeptical? I can't imagine why you would be. Think about this. Both of them are looking for family. Steve has his whole vacation RV plan he wants to put in place once he gets, quote, insurance and all that adult stuff. As for Collin, the first thing she did when she escaped the lab was find a family, but they couldn't help me, she said. From there, she formed her own family out of lost and castaway people. And all she asked in return was for them to join her in a kamikaze mission of vengeance. So imagine that, after the events of the Lost Sister, Collin is without her little crew anymore. Maybe a couple of them got shot. Maybe it was Axel. I wouldn't mind seeing that dude take a bullet. Rejected by her sister Jane and abandoned by her crew, Collin spirals. By the time Elle psychically calls her for help in season 5, she's a full-on 80s TV bag lady. She's been abandoned by everyone, and it ruined her. So to shorten things as much as possible, some story beats. Collin doesn't really help against Vecna and the Mind Flayer, but she does create the illusion of Elle's dead body for Sullivan. Now the file is closed on Jane, and she can live a normal life. But Elle wants her help for one more thing. Can Steve drive them where they need to go? She can't ask Hopper, because Collin is a serial killer. Steve says, she's not getting in my car smelling like that. Cue a makeover montage, and 8 comes out of it looking like Linnea Berthelsen, which is to say, gorgeous. Steve drives them to Terry Ives' place. Collin uses her powers to show Terry what her daughter Jane looks like now, and how happy she is. That breaks Terry out of her so-called dream circle, waking her from her trance, but maybe not healing the damage that's been done to her. Tearful reunions follow. Steve admits that's the coolest thing he's ever seen. Later, Steve is outside on the porch so the others can hug, cry, and laugh in peace. Collin comes outside with a manila folder. In Terry's files, she found her real name and the name of her parents. Maybe even a place to start looking for them. Steve offers to drive her, and they smile at each other. And boom, that's all you need. They head off into the sunset. And look, I know that at least a couple of you are stansies, and that's fine. It's not too embarrassing. But look at it this way. Both characters are smoking hot. Collin is a leader, a decisive thinker with a powerful need to bring people together and look after them. Steve is a sweet-natured himbo with a moral clarity that will show Collin that she can put aside the destructive vendetta that has only made her miserable. And really, the first time Collin talks sweetly to him and starts telling Steve what to do, he'll fall for her hard. And bringing Collin back in any form suggests that the 5th season might have a theme of reincorporation. Story elements from previous seasons would echo into the finale. For instance, I expect Eleven to fly, just as she sort of did at the end of season 2. I expect Mr. Clark to return to drop some scientific exposition, but this time he'll discover just how much his lessons meant to the boys over the years, and that he not only saved their lives, but he gave them the tools to save the world. I also expect that someone will be sneaking through the military base that's guarding the gates in Hawkins, and then discover, out behind the commissary, torn up fiberglass and maybe an empty bleach bottle mixed with a bunch of red cups, suggesting that at least some of the soldiers have been flayed. Tiny, tiny cameos for supporting characters would be nice too. And that's it. That's all I have to offer.
And that was good. I don't know if it's,
that was crazy.
you know, it was well reasoned. It was well thought out. I don't think it's going to happen in a million years, but
I mean, A for effort,
yeah, totally.
but
I'm coming in hot. I take offense to being labeled a Stancy.
I know.
I did. That all goes back to that poll that we reacted to. That I was just shocked that
I can't believe it either. Like, Steve blows Jonathan out of the water in every aspect.
Oh yeah, not even close. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to see some cameos like from some of the littler characters. I would love to see Mr. Clark come back. I don't see there's a way that it can happen, but
Well, it's at the
would be
school.
fun to
I think
see
you
him.
could see him. We know
Yeah.
they're at the school at some point, so I think it's possible.
Yeah.
I really did like that little bit from Harry towards the end, though. I do like that idea about flying. I don't think that was just a throwaway line
No.
at the end either. I believe you could
Oh.
fly, and then
Yep.
it hadn't crossed my mind until Harry mentioned that in the audio clip about her levitating at the end of season 2, too.
Yep.
So that was a cool idea.
No,
I
I
like
agree.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. Well, thank you, Harry, for taking the time. I appreciate that. Always good to hear from you. Our next email is from Ellie in Greece. Hey, Collin and Doug and Whitney. Oh my gosh, welcome back. You have been missed. As you can see, I did not end up jumping off a cliff, so all's well that ends well. I'm done with my exams finally, so that's nice. I'm actually currently having a sleepover with my best friend. We had a Pixie Hollow movies marathon because we both read Wings of Starlight, an official Disney book, and it was so good. And also in other news, one of my friend's dads has a hotel that we fancy. And she invited me and another 4 girls to stay there for a couple of days, and it was so fun. Ugh, summer is so nice, although it's very hot in Greece, so I'm suffering a little bit. What are you guys doing this summer? I'm going to spend a week in August in Thessaloniki in northern Greece, so I'm excited for that. Now, as to theories, I'm very bad at thinking them up, so I can't really contribute to that conversation, but I look forward to hearing everyone else's. Nobody better die, though, or I'm going to sue, in all caps. I know that's not possible, though, so I should probably get the suing papers ready. Bye, Ellie.
Aw, Ellie.
The papers.
Ellie seems like she lives such a charmed life.
I know, right? It's just so nice.
I know.
Every time she writes it, it's like, I wish I was Ellie right now.
I know.
Yep.
Living in Greece, man.
Right?
Oh,
Ah, so
my
nice.
summer's been great.
Yeah, mine has too. It's been good.
We went to
Rainy,
Disney
like
World.
every weekend it's rainy, but during the week it's nice. We just had the heat dome go over us last
It
week.
was hot.
But,
Oh,
yeah,
it was so hot
Yeah.
here last week.
but yeah. No, otherwise, yeah, it's a good summer. Probably go
I
see my
love
brother in
summer.
DC sometime soon. And yeah.
I'm
We're
going
doing
out to
good.
the Finger Lakes in T-minus 24 hours for the 4th of July. I can't wait.
Oh, nice.
That'll be
That'll be
fun.
awesome. Yeah.
Have
cool.
either of you been to the Finger Lakes?
I have not.
Mm-mm.
I've driven past it, but I haven't actually, as a destination, I haven't been to it, but I've been in the area or the
It's a
vicinity.
magical place.
Yeah.
It's sometimes I have to remind myself of the beauty of New York when I get
Yeah.
so angry at
Right?
state politics.
Yeah, that'd be cool though. That's neat.
All right, moving on. This one's from Jordan. Hi, Collin, Whitney, and Doug. Happy Todd Father Day.
Woohoo!
I'm not much of a theory lover, but I only have one slight prediction for season 5. I don't think they will kill 11, but I feel like it could definitely be one of those Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows things where 11, quote unquote, dies or is killed, but then she is brought back to life somehow. Just a thought. No other theories. I love sitting back and watching the show so that I am in awe of what unfolds. Yeah, totally.
That's exactly why I hate theories. So good on you, Jordan.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I just like sitting and watching it. I don't want to know.
I still like sitting and watching it. I just like to imagine what could happen.
Don't mind her,
Please.
Jordan.
Gosh.
Luckily, I don't think Stranger Things is like a show that you're going to put the puzzle pieces together all day.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Nope.
It'll be great. I'm very confident. Like we'll be very surprised. All right, couple season 5 wishes. I'm hoping we finally see Dustin and Susie together in real life. I would also love if Robin connected with Will at some point so they can be there for each other, as I can't even imagine what it would be like to be gay in that time period. Happy predictions, Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know if we'll see Susie or not. I'd like
That would be
to.
fun.
I would like to.
I would think that somewhere along the way we would have heard, Joe was on set, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
whoever, pick a person,
Yeah.
there's no way that Joe Quinn could have gotten on that set and nobody wouldn't have leaked something.
Unless they filmed his
They were shredding all the scripts.
unless
Yeah.
they filmed his episodes back
Yeah.
in season 4. Like
I don't
they
know.
like we never saw why Will had on that harness.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, someone was blurred out in that picture. Now, I don't
Oh,
know
right.
who it was.
That's
What picture?
that's completely right. You're right. The big cast picture when they were halfway done filming, the whole crew picture. It was like in July of
I need to go look at it.
was it July of last year, right?
I know which
Someone-
picture you're talking about. I guess I just
Yeah.
didn't notice somebody's
Yeah,
blurred
there were two or
About a
three
year
people
ago.
in the front that were kind of blurred that looked like I don't know, they looked like the plague people from the Ghosts sitcom, kind of like through the blur. It was kind of
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
Okay, our next email is from Robbie, and she says, Dear Collin, Doug, and Whitney, before getting down to business, I just wanted to thank you all for giving me something to fill the deep, dark void with these past few weeks. One of my more therapeutic outlets for Stranger Things anticipation is to listen to Stranger Things related content while doing Stranger Things jigsaw puzzles. It's bliss. And this month, it's been your podcast that accompanied me through the completion of 2 1,000-piece puzzles. It's been oodles of fun. So thank you.
Hey, you're welcome.
As for theories, I'm one of those freaks whose favorite character is Will, despite him being useless for 2 seasons and arguably being the most boring character in the main cast. No, that's Jonathan. And as such, the only really detailed prediction I have concerns him. As we all know, Will is set to have a big role this season. And with that in mind, I think the sorcerer from the Chapter 4 title is Will. The episode will wrap up the 1983 flashback arc by revealing something that went down with Will back then that finally explains why he's been able to sense the upside down / Vecna ever since. He'll finally learn what exactly his link to Vecna is and discover a new way to exploit it to the group's advantage, like gaining a new power and being the party's sorcerer. I think the phylactery theory, D&D / Vecna's version of Horcruxes for those not in the know. I'm not in the know.
I was vaguely
neither.
in the know, but yeah, largely not in the know. So yeah,
Well, what is the phylactery theory?
it's essentially
A
Horcruxes.
Horcrux?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It might come into play, and that Will himself might be a phylactery, much like Harry Potter was a Horcrux, which is good news if it helps Will learn how to reverse engineer the connection to her Vecna, and is also an important step towards learning how to defeat him if now we know what's keeping him alive. It doesn't leave Will's chances of survival looking great, though. That said, I don't think he'll actually die. I'm not opposed to the possibility. I don't mind my favorite characters dying so long as they get a good death. I just don't think he'll be the big death this season. Someone else will get that honor. I do think he'll be this season's fake out, though. When it all finally ends, he may be overwhelmed and collapse from whatever he's feeling when his connection to Vecna / the Upside Down is severed forever. For a moment, it'll look like the Upside Down took him with it when it winked out of existence. But mirroring season 1's ending, he'll wake up safe and sound, a bit like Teen Wolf's 3rd season when Styles' connection to the what?
Nogatsune.
The Nagatsune
Yeah.
was severed. I never watched that show.
Yep.
I can't wait to hear your and everyone else's season 5 theories. Much love from Robbie in Canberra, as I said, Canberra,
Yep. Mhm.
Australia.
Hey, thanks, Robbie.
I like those
Yeah.
stories.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I really
Yeah.
like the idea of Will kind of almost dying, like kind of shades of when he was exercised and or whatever, and the slug in the bathroom sink and that whole thing. That he was. So now it's finally out of him, and he would collapse, and it'll look like he dies or something like that. I could totally see that happening.
Yeah.
Yes, that all plays right in step with the Wrinkle in Time stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm telling you, there's something there because
I
the
agree.
brother in Wrinkle in Time volunteers to get possessed to ultimately win.
I
Right.
don't even remember that book.
You could have seen the movie with Oprah.
I didn't
Oh
watch
God, I
that.
forgot they did that. I didn't see it. Is it good?
No.
No.
I was
Something-
actually gonna look up my review of it, and I can't remember what I gave it, but I don't remember liking it too much. So yeah, it was one of those things because I loved the book when I was a kid. I mean, I read it.
It's super.
I mean, I
fun.
owned it. I read it all the time. But no, I gave it 3 stars. So I guess I didn't hate it, but yeah. Yeah, I don't remember it being something that I really wanted to rush to see again. But anyway, yeah. So I think that does it. Anything else you guys want to chat about before we wrap it up? Thank you for everybody for writing the emails in. That was great, and
Yeah,
Harry
that was fun.
Harry for
Yeah.
recording. So yeah,
Did you have fun at all, Collin?
I did. Yes, it is. It's fun. It's just kind of frustrating because I know how futile it is to sit here and do it, but
Yeah.
it is. It's just kind of fun and silly. So, and from now on, we're going to keep going further ahead with gearing up for season 5 stuff. We're not going to be doing any more, influence episodes or character deep dives or any of that kind of stuff. It's all eking our way out of the void from here on out. So
Maybe we'll even have a trailer by the next time.
maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
Failing that, though, if we do get a trailer between now and toward the end of July, that'll be the focus of the next episode. But if that doesn't happen, we will go ahead with our original plan. We will be back on July 31st with our next episode, and we're going to do what we need in season 5 episode. So we've talked about what 80 songs we need. We've talked about what questions we need answered. So this is a chance to kind of further go along the whole theory idea, but storylines you need resolved,
Plot points like that.
romantic pairings we need
Yeah.
to see, deaths we need to see, that kind of thing. So whatever you need to see in season 5, get your emails to us by Sunday, July 27th. And we will be back with a new episode on July 31st. And I'll remind you guys in the Discord and the socials and everything before then, just so you remember. But start thinking about what you need to see or would really like to see in season 5 of Stranger Things.
And remember, if you want to get in touch with us, you can always email us at scoopsahoypod@gmail.com, or you can check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and Discord. And please remember to leave a comment or rating, or better yet, a review on iTunes, because that helps us get in front of other audiences. And I'm sure people want to hear us talk more about Stranger Things.
That's
as
right.
we get closer to season 5. So I want to thank you guys for listening, and I hope you tune in next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Stranger Things audio clips and official score are the property of Netflix. Incidental music by Blue Mount Score from Pixabay.